أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم صلاة وتسليما يليقان بمقام أمير الأنبياء وإمام المرسلين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وعظيمنا وحبيبنا محمدا رسول الله خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين صل اللهم وسلم وبارك على هذا النبي الأمين وعلى آله وصحابته الغر الميامين أما بعد. Respected ulama, elders, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, Jamaatul Muslimin, my respected gathering, I greet you all with the universal greetings of love, mercy and peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأطيعوا الله ورسوله ولا تنازعوا فتفشلوا وتذهب ريحكم واصبروا إن الله مع الصابرين صدق الله العظيم. Jamaatul Muslimin, Surah Al-Anfal. Surah Al-Anfal. Please go and look up this particular verse, number 46 of Surah Al-Anfal in the Holy Quran, and ponder over it. Don't just read through it. We must ponder over the Quran. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks, do they not ponder over the Quran, or are there locks on their hearts? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us an order, وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, and obey Allah and obey His Messenger. وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا, and do not dispute amongst yourselves. فَتَفْشَلُوا, because then you will fail. وَتَذْهَبَ رِيحُكُمْ, and literally the wind will be knocked out of you. You will lose your strength. وَاصْبِرُوا, and be patient and persevering in maintaining that unity. Be patient and persevering in keeping away from that dissension and disunity. وَاصْبِرُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Indeed, Allah is with those who are patient and persevering. Jamaatul Muslimin, as Sheikh Zayd has so beautifully put, Allah is testing us. Like He has tested those who came before us. And through that Allah is making manifest. فَلْيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلْيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. In order to make manifest who are those who have been true to their covenant with Allah and who have broken and belied their covenant with Allah. Allah is testing us. And Palestine is the thermometer as to whether we are passing or failing that test. If we go back to the 11th and 12th centuries, when the Crusaders marched into Jerusalem in July 1099 and took the city by the sword, the Jews were burnt alive in their synagogue. And that's why it's so important for us to understand that there are extremists in every religion. Every religion has misguided followers that abuse that religion and the name of that religion for their own agenda, like the Crusaders did, like the Buddhists of Burma, of Myanmar are doing today, like the Zionists are abusing the name of Judaism in the land of Palestine. And we also have our misguided followers. Although they are few and far between, nevertheless, every religion has its extremists. And they don't define the religion. That is why we as Muslimin, we defend our deen. We don't defend individuals or organizations. We defend our deen. Whatever individual adheres to the principles and the values of our faith, we are with them and they are with us. But whoever does not live up to those principles and those values, we are free of them and they are free of us. But Jama'at al-Muslimin, my main point for today, and I don't have much time, is in this word, وَاصْبِرُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Persevere. In what? How do we persevere? In maintaining unity. In order that the wind shouldn't be knocked out of us. In order that we shouldn't be weak and downtrodden and humiliated as we are today. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, يوشك أن تتداعى عليكم الأمم كما تتداعى الأكلة إلى قصعتها. قيل أو من قلة نحن يومئذ يا رسول الله؟ قال بل أنتم يومئذ كثير ولكنكم غثاء كغثاء السيل. وفي رواية كغثاء البحر. ينزع الله الرعب من قلوب أعدائكم ويلقي في قلوبكم الوهن. قالوا وما الوهن يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم؟ فقال عليه الصلاة والسلام حب الدنيا وكراهية الموت. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said that a time will come when the nations of this world will be preying on you. Not P-R-A-Y, P-R-E-Y. They will be preying on you like the eaters at a feast eat off one plate of food. Palestine, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Burma, just helping themselves. So the Sahaba wanted to know, is it because of our small numbers on that day, O Messenger of Allah? So he answered, no. On that day you will be many, but you will be like the foam of a flood water. When a wadi, when a valley in the desert floods, it picks up all the debris, and that debris becomes like a foam on top of the floodwood. It is a lot, but it is light and it is weak. It just goes wherever the water pushes it. In the other narration of the hadith, like the foam of the waves. Just look at Table Bay when the southeaster is blowing. A lot of foam. But that foam just gets pushed whichever way the water is going. It has no strength. It cannot resist. The Prophet said, we'll be like that foam. And Allah will remove the fear of you from the hearts of your enemies. And He will put into your hearts wahan. So the companions wanted to know, what is wahan, O Messenger of Allah? Salawatu Rabbi wa salamu alayh. So he answered, the love of this world and the hatred of death. The love of the dunya, the bling bling, and the hatred of death. So Jama'at al-Muslimin, we have got a lot of introspection to do. We are weak, we are divided, we have no strength, we are disunited. And you know why? Because we have no sabr with each other. We are not persevering in how we should be treating one another, in how we should be living with one another, in how we should be speaking about one another, in how we should be loving and caring for one another. Remember, قال صلى الله عليه وسلم مثل المؤمنين في تواضهم وتراحمهم كمثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى سائر الجسد بالألم والحمى وفي رواية بالسهل. The likeness of the believers, the true believers, may Allah make us of them. Say Ameen. Ameen. The likeness of the true believers in the love that they have for each other. And in the mercy and compassion that they show towards one another is the likeness of a single body. If one part of that body feels pain, then the whole body feels the pain of that part of the body. Another narration of the hadith, if one part of that body feels pain, then that part of the body keeps the whole body up at night. Maybe one of the sisters has burnt their finger on the stove. Auntie, ever burnt auntie's finger on the stove? Or maybe one of the brothers burnt their finger there by the bride, by the barbecue. And then that finger starts to throb with pain. And the whole body feels it with that part. With that little finger, but the whole body feels it. At night when you try and go to sleep, the whole body stays awake just because of that little unmula. Not asbu', asbu' is the whole finger. Unmula, just the tip of the finger. But it keeps the whole body awake at night. That is the likeness of the true believers. In the love that they have for each other. In the mercy and compassion that they show towards one another. But that cannot be maintained without sabr. Without perseverance, persevering with each other. وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً أَتَصْبِرُونَ وَكَانَ رَبُّكَ بَصِيرًا. And we have made you, some of you, a trial for others. Will you not then persevere? And indeed your Lord is ever watchful. Allah sees us, Allah hears us. Allah hears us when we backbite one another. Allah sees us when we cheat and defraud each other. Allah even knows what we are feeling about one another in the depths of our hearts. وَأَسِرُّوا قَوْلَكُمْ أَوْ جَهَرُوا بِهِ إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. Whether you say it in secret or you say it openly, Allah knows what lies in the hearts, the depth of the hearts of mankind. So we need to purify this heart for each other. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. This is in the obedience of Allah. Go through the Quran and see how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibits us from desecrating each other's rights as believers. Obeying Allah and His Messenger is not just about making salah, paying zakah, fasting, going on hajj. Yes, these ibadat, these are compulsory. But if we do these ibadat, if we do these acts of worship, but at the same time we are backbiting, at the same time we are cheating, at the same time we are defrauding, at the same time we are lying, at the same time we are envying. Now what is the worth of that ibadat in front of Allah on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah? The Prophet ﷺ asked the companions one day, أَتَدَرُونَ مَنِ الْمُفْلِسِ? Do you know who is the penniless person? They said, Ya Rasulullah, مَنْ لَا دِرْهَمَ لَهُ وَلَا مَتَاعٍ. The penniless person is the one who's got no money or material possessions. So the Prophet said, no, the person who is penniless in the eyes of Allah is the one who comes on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. يَأْتِي بِصَلَاةٍ وَزَكَاةٍ وَصِيَامٍ وَحَجٍّ. They come with salah, they come with zakah, they come with siyam, they come with hajj. وَقَدْ شَتَمَ هَذَا. But they insulted so and so. وَأَكَلَ مَالَ هَذَا. And they ate or took the money wrongfully of so and so. وَضَرَبَ هَذَا. And they struck so and so. وَسَفَكَ دَمَ هَذَا. And they spilled the blood of so and so. And then so and so will be presented. And what will happen? That victim will take of that person's good deeds. The perpetrator. And if all the good deeds are up and there are still crimes to be paid for, then they will have to take of their victims' bad deeds until they are disgraced and humiliated by being thrown into the fire of Jahannam. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. اللهم أجرنا من النار. اللهم أجرنا من النار. آمين. اللهم أجرنا من النار. آمين. دقيقتين, 2 minutes. آمين. So Jama'at al-Muslimin, if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to return Masjid al-Aqsa, to liberate Palestine, to free the Muslims from the yoke of oppression and of bloodletting. The Muslim lands are soaked in blood, wal-'iyadhu billah. If we want the help of Allah, if we want Allah to strengthen us and unite us, then listen to the words of Abu Darda. Abu Darda was on one of the islands of the Mediterranean, and Allah had granted the believers victory. And on this day of victory, Abu Darda was sitting and crying. And so one of the companions came to him and said to him, Ya Abu Darda, atabki yawm al-nasr? Oh Abu Darda, do you cry on the day of victory? Qala na'am, he said yes. They said, why? He said, Abki li hali ha'ula an-nas. He said, I'm crying for the condition of those people. And he pointed to the disbelievers who had just been defeated. He said, لَمَّا عَصُوا اللَّهَ مَكَّنَنَّ اللَّهُ مِنْ رِقَابِهِمْ فَانْتَصَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ. He said, when they disobeyed Allah, Allah strengthened us as the believers, as those who were obeying Him, and granted us victory over them. وَأَخْشَى أَن يَأْتِ الْيَوْمُ الَّذِي نَعْصِي اللَّهَ فِيهِ فَيُمَكِّنَهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ رِقَابِنَا فَيَنْتَصِرُونَ عَلَيْهَا. But I fear the day, he said, when we shall disobey Allah. And I'm putting it in the light of the way that we are treating one another. That I fear the day when we shall disobey Allah, and then Allah will strengthen them and grant them victory over us. So we want Palestine to be liberated, we want Masjid al-Aqsa to be liberated, we want the Muslim lands to be lands of peace and security. Then let us start persevering in loving each other for the sake of Allah, and loving for each other what we love for ourselves. And then inshallah the victory will come. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of the sabireen. Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. Allah is with those who persevere. Persevering in the obedience of Allah. Persevering in abstaining from the disobedience of Allah. And persevering in the time of trial and tribulation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our shortcomings, unite our hearts, and gather us on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, and call out to us, أَيْنَ الْمُتَّحَابُونَ بِجَلَالِ? Where are those who have loved each other for my sake? الْيَوْمَ أُظِلُّهُمْ تَحْتَ ظِلِّي يَوْمَ لَا ظِلَّ إِلَّا ظِلِّي. On this day I will put them in my shade, on the day when there is no shade except my shade, and inshallah we'll remember this day. So I leave you by saying, Inni uhibbukum fillah. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Takbir! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh Riyadh, whole Jama'at al-Muslimin, as a token of our appreciation for the Fusion events promotion. Jazakallah khairan. For every time we call out our youth, they come out Jama'at al-Muslimin, supporting all our events. It makes the events much more effective if our ulama and our leaders